to have an impact.
Veil is such an easy item to make, and if you have some high damage from your team, magical damage, it works out so well.
All right, so the difference this time, OG, you know, in the previous game, obviously banned the Earth Spirit themselves, and we're almost kind of like, hey, let's see if EG will just take the Underlord because we have something for it. This time, they'll just ban out the Underlord. Now a Shadow Demon's going to get taken out. Is it worth to go for an Earth Spirit first pick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they will.
I think they will too, and maybe not. They could just come prove us wrong, but it's the kind of hero that, yeah, it's Jarek's much more in his comfort zone. It puts OG in a position where they have a big playmaker for him. He can do better and help out the laning stage, pressure Sumail. It's the kind of hero that I think really works for OG.
And it feels like if they don't take it, EG certainly will. I mean, there it is. Okay, well, best Earth Spirit in the game. And the response right away, Slardar Darkseer. Saw it in the previous game, and it looks like we'll get a bit of the same here. 4-position Slardar with the Universe Seer.
Yeah, last game when they got the Slardar, Darkseer became banned. I think it would have more likely been the offlaner rather than the Enigma if Darkseer was available, because you can win the lane harder, and he also buys the Greaves, the mech, the Greaves, the Pipe, Blink, etc. But
EG always has one of those heroes that can build up a mech pipe so they can 5-man up, and this combo is such a deadly Slardar Darkseer. Even if you're losing so hard, if they both have blinks with just one good combo, and EG is known for executing those good combos, you can just turn the game around.
Yeah. I mean, so EG so far, same opening as last game, but I imagine the cores that come from Sumail, RTZ likely be different. Maybe OG even target some of their bans towards some of the heroes they just lost to.
Getting like little flashbacks of the Darkseer Sven combo scene, so we'll have to see if OG go down the road of armor manipulation, which, hey, first one's a dazzle.
Yeah, I was thinking they might grab this here. It's the get your both supports at the start, reveal nothing as far as your cores go. EG have revealed a bit more as far as having an off-lane pairing. And you also know the Slardar's a support now. Often you see that Slardar picked up first, and you're like, could be a support, could be an off-laner. But with this draft, you're like 99% sure that's a support Slardar.
So OG now with an open-ended draft to be able to kind of pick and choose their core potential. Have we seen any no-tail lifestealer at all? I don't really feel no-tail lifestealer is like a thing.
I don't think I've ever heard those words.
It's kind of like Universe Slardar, you know? It's the same thing. It's kind of like, any team should be able to kind of have this hero in the rotation, but you know, this particular team, it just doesn't seem right.
Every player pretty much here has a big hero pool, but I don't think anyone plays like all the heroes that are in the meta game right now. So
they ban it themselves. They're worried about a Slardar lifestealer combo.
Of course.
So they'll take it out. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to point out. The Jug, one of the other good safe lane carries that matches up well against the Darkseer with the Iron Shell.
Bans out on the potential on a Shadow Fiend here. We go right back the way of OG as mid laners are starting to be considered here. Sumail always seems to be one that's really hard to contain, so setting up an ideal matchup would be nice, even though they do have that benefit now of the Earth Spirit.
And that's what EG like to do with their lane. Set up lanes such that their safe lane, off lane can cause problems, and then give Sumail an advantageous 1v1 matchup. So the supports may be kept busy with top, with bottom, and then Sumail can just 1v1, win his lane, do his thing.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, with Earth Spirit trying to put attention, let's say, towards Sumail, this potential dual offlane from EG is really going to have a nice time. So, and not one Dazzle is going to be able to fend them off.
I'm maybe seeing an X from OG either ban or getting picked, so that he can't counter Dazzle.
Well, they've already got the Darkseer though. I don't feel like EG can fit the X in too well.
Yeah, that is correct.
I think if there's an X, it almost has to be picked by OG. Does pair well with the Dazzle though, like
they won't go
for the heal on top of the call as well as the Grave.
Well, I do want to say a time way back when we had a mid Sumail X. Well, we also had a time of a mid Oracle Sumail, so
it would be a shock pick, I think, if they ran
an
X in a safe lane or a mid roll. It would not be the expected. And I don't think you're worried about countering a Dazzle. Like you just say, oh, they have Grave. Well, we'll just have to kill the hero after the Grave. Venge, though, more minus armor and a hero that they've actually run more as a carry than support.
Yeah, they play the one game as a, but they do run it as a support as well. And these do Slardar and Venge work really good.
Also
together,
fits with the blue theme is also alive here for EG.
OG have the green at least with the first pick. So.
Yeah. These are important things here.
Do you think they picked Slaughter first because of the sharks?
Oh, that is a great analytical point right there.
And everyone is blue, except Darkseer is maybe a little bit purple.
Depends on
Who are we
the
to
eye.
judge Lacoste?
Bleed blue.
He can live his life how he likes.
Oh,
Okay,
Brewmaster.
I'm skeptical of this Pyro. I don't know.
They were, you know, last time OG pulled it out the other day, the panel was suspect then.
Yeah.
They managed to make it work. Had a good value. It was versus an OD, I believe, at the time, but here OG find value in it.
Brewmaster is a natural Vladimir's offering carrier.
Oh,
So
that's a core Vengeful
this-
Spirit.
it is.
Well,
Yes.
this is just unexpected because they've got the Slider and Chen as the two supports. This is a very
Yeah.
like who's actually helping out the lane. Slider roams around a bit, but they've got no one to secure like the lane so much as far as like zoning. But that's where
Yeah.
Venge is a
Yeah,
core.
they did something like this in terms of picking against second game against Secret, and that didn't turn out well when they were. Seemed to me they were overcomplicating.
Very greedy. Yeah, they
Yes.
they need that
Yeah.
standard step. Like who's gonna just be that sit behind?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
First one of Dota Pit and a no-tail specialty.
Now I'm liking the OG draft a bit more.
Okay.
I wasn't sure about the Brew, but I mean, Brew's a good hero to be like a just space-creating, disruptive hero for a team fight to help out a Meepo. This will be some fun.
Yeah, not too much crazy AoE in there, aside from the crush that can really lock him in.
This is a great Meepo game against
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
heroes. There's nothing that counters him that hard right now, and you know that last pick is a Sumail. There's not many mid heroes that are great against Meepo, really. I don't think. Like you don't think of mid heroes being the counters. It's like
Not
the Winter
Quap.
Wyvern, the Sand Kings.
No, they're not gonna play Sanking, I think.
That's what I mean. Like, the kind of heroes you think against Meepo like
Yeah.
aren't really mids.
Why did you exclude Queen of Pain?
Queen
think
Pain
they
gets
need-
owned by Meepo though.
Yeah, she does.
It's true if she doesn't have a BKB, but or they removed the OD themselves. They need some kind of hero that can make Mjolnir maybe a bit later, and that has a huge damage output.
Yeah. I mean, Queen Pain's a bad matchup early mid game, but maybe if you get the farm you need, could turn into a hero that can deal with Meepo.
Yeah, Chen's gonna help a lot. Mid probably.
What about Sniper?
Reserve time.
He's a Mjolnir candidate. Maybe he can create the distance and help.
There we
but
go. You're onto something, Dakota.
oh, they got rid of it. Okay.
Okay, you're thinking the same way as OG is thinking.
What else is there for the Sumail hero? But first we got to go to OG.
Yep.
Get that mid lane on a
I
grab.
still feel maybe an Invoker game.
10 seconds remaining.
Invoker with Meepo. I feel like. Do you want to go that greedy with the Meepo? Hey, that could work.
5
Meepo
seconds
actually comes
remaining.
online very early with the Treads Dragonlance build now. It's not like the old days where you had to farm travels, ags.
Reserve time.
You just get that early Treads and you just fight.
DK is also a popular on a grab.
Yeah,
From time
DK
to time.
seems solid. Gives them building push as well as another frontliner, another hero that just can stand there and make it hard to get to the Meepo.
They
think
them-
we-
I
Okay.
think they need something
EG's turn to
that can
pick.
stand in the front lane, besides that maybe Slaughter,
What's
which is
also
not going to be so
saying-
tanky.
Something that doesn't get ganked by the Chen rotations as well. It has an escape. If you pick a mid that gets pressured, you could just lose that lane. Ah, Tinker.
Is that a Sumail Tinker? We also
Yeah,
know Arteezy
yes.
to play a good share of Tinker. Okay.
Should
I
be
feel like I haven't
Sumail.
seen it in a while, but
There's one of maybe the better mids to run against Meepo, at least as far as how you can interact later on in the game with the Ags, get that multi-hero laser. and
very true.
A lot of AoE damage.
Wow. All right, guys. There's our draft. First Meepo of the event. And Evil
Predictions?
Geniuses, Core Vengeful Spirit. What do you think?
I think if they didn't pick Tinker, I would go with OG, but I think Tinker brings a lot to the table for for EG in terms of AoE damage and just some burst. So
Got to be careful, though. Earth Spirit could get the jump on that Tinker in the mid lane, too. He doesn't have a good way to kind of get out. What do you think, Gods?
I think Meepo is one of the best heroes this patch. I'm gonna go with OG, but I think the Tinker was an amazing pick, like Lacoste said. Should be a fantastic game too, though.
I'm really looking forward to this one. Should be mega hype. The first Meepo, it should be a doozy here. Let's go ahead and throw it to the sidelines right now as we have Toby One and Merlini to bring you all the coverage.
You know, we were hoping for this. We were hoping that the OG Meepo would be picked. We got the S4 Brewmaster. We get the Fly Dazzle if we want to give the supports a little bit of like a big talk up as well. It's a dream for a hero draft. Merlini, do you agree with the panel? Do you lean the way of the OG, but also appreciate the Tinker pick?
I definitely like OG's draft more. I think the Meepo is really strong here. They don't have a good way to deal with it, and I also think they have pretty good solutions against the Tinker. Queen of Pain plus Earth Spirit, one of the most devastating mid lanes you can match up against. Dazzle synergizes really well with the Meepo for that added physical burst on top of the magic poof burst, and I don't think that Tinker will have enough time to get online before Meepo does his Meepo things.
It's a maybe that is the timing thing, but then cannot space be created? Like Vengeful Spirit is this hero that normally packs a big punch in the early phase. We've even seen him being part of aggressive tri lanes. Is that enough to actually force OG to maybe give Tinker that space?
I think it's tough. I think it's more so on the Chen than the Vengeful Spirit. Like, Dazzle will mitigate a lot of the damage from the Sora and the Vengeful Spirit. I think it's mostly on Chen to slow down the Meepo, slow down the Queen of Pain, counter the Earth Spirit's movement. I think if they just sit back and farm, the Meepo's going to get out of control way too quickly. Tinker can't farm as quickly as Meepo. No hero can, actually.
So get aggressive. Run the Darkseer Slaughter. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But can VS go one-on-one with the Brew? That would be the other thing which could cause some issues.
I think they could just DS top lane and the VS Slaughter. I don't know. They don't aggro that often, though. But I do think that keeping the Meepo down is key here. Tinker, like, the later the game goes, I think it's slightly better for the Tinkers because you want your Aether and Ags up ASAP. And if Meepo, Meepo gets his things going in like 20-25 minutes with a couple Aegis under his belt, then I think it's a lot of trouble for them. You can just dive the Tinker and kill him, sacrifice your Aegis, and go on from there.
Yeah, just that small advantage for the Tinker is the fact that OG doesn't have great, like, the big chase heroes. Like Storm Spirit used to be one of the big counters to so does Spirit Breaker against a hero like a Tinker.
Yeah.
Just to try and catch him out in the side lane. So once you get that Blink Dagger and maybe one bigger control item, you're going to have a better time split pushing with that Tinker. And then you got the Chen army. But I think you're right. Like, a lot of it comes down to the timing. Like, how early is OG going to hit you? How quickly can S4 get that Blink Dagger? Because he's still going to be their primary initiation without just relying on G-Rax to get the rolling boulders over. Because if that's what you rely on, you could find yourself pretty heavily inside of March of the Machines.
Yep.
Or in counter initiation. Because they've also got the distance for swap, Hand of God for survivability, the chaos factor that arises from a Darkseer. Even that Darkseer, this is one of the other combinations which was run a hell of a lot. The Slaughter running this 4 roll in combination with the Darkseer, double Iron Shells, you close the distance really quickly with Surge or Sprint, or both.
Yeah, the the vacuum into Slither Crush combo is pretty devastating for a team fight. It's kind of like an RP, I suppose.
If you can get it right. Universe position normally will allow you to do that. And that's what I was thinking might actually happen. You look at the lanes going out. Universe is already headed down south. Now, with the early scouting from G-Rax, he can put an Observer Ward inside the Radiant jungle, and he might get a glimpse of the Darkseer's maneuver.
Yeah, I think this is... You want the VS to be matched up against the Meepo. You need to slow the Meepo down at all costs and buy time for your Tinker. That's the objective of the early game, I believe. And let's see if any wards have scattered out anything yet.
Arteezy, the Dire Observe Ward on top of the shrine, and you're already seeing OG respond to this.
Yep.
So they're moving Fly as well as No Tail down to the bottom lane.
You want your Broodmaster to be sacked, not in the one-on-one situation. I think he'll struggle a lot versus Darkseer in the lane, and Darkseer will just get way too much farm. So
I wonder if Zai actually commits the sentry, and okay, I was interested to see where we would put the sentry, because I've seen a lot of teams actually put the sentry closer towards the shrine, so you get both the hillside as well as the shrine area.
You can't see up there, though.
That is true.
They don't have Flying Courier. You'd have to commit Wave of Terror, and that's too much. That wouldn't actually be that bad. I think it'd be okay to commit Wave of Terror, but yeah, they won't get that D-ward.
So Dire Observe Ward remains where it is. Fly and S4 will be the dual safe lane, and then No Tail will head to the off lane. G-Rax will be the roaming support with the early Orb of Venom, and then Anna into the mid. And Arteezy, well, at the moment he's solo top, but support is on the way. So Zion crit to do that work, and that Observe Ward, it won't block the camps, but something it's going to do is see the positioning of the Chen. So if Chen decides whatever creep he wants, OG will understand what it is and probably where he's going to go with it. So this observable has done so much work already for OG.
Yeah, it really has. No-tail, I think, is perfectly okay versus the Darkseer. Once he gets level 3, he can double poof. I don't think he needs to skill Earthbind until 4.
Really trying to get up in S4's face. This is the exact combination that EG were attempting to do up against the Meepo. Just stun into crush. Be as aggressive as you can, and then with a little bit of help from a Chen, you could probably just turn the tides a little bit more.
Sumail destroyed Ana last game, and this game looks to be fairly similar in terms of CS. 5 and 3 for the Tinker, 1 and 1 for the Queen of Pain. Granted, there is the Wild Wing Ripper swirling his little feathery wings around, but it still is quite the upset in the mid lane.
Universe? Yeah, he can't body block that one forever. He's actually going to surge up. If he can get back in front of him with the Iron Shell burn, it's not enough. He would have come way too close towards the town, but it's still No-Tal forced to burn the salve early on in the game.
At least he's getting farms and levels. It's exactly what you need on your Meepo.
So 3 heroes now up here for OG. Don't have a huge amount of damage. You can like Rolling Boulder into Clap and Shadow Wave, which will do a decent amount. And in fact, that's exactly what they do, but Crit gets the double crush off. There's your Shadow Wave. The damage is good, but Crit being the one to tank it meant that he'll end up surviving. Universe, oh wow, No-Tal so low. That Centaur Conqueror is so close, but Sumail's already got the first blood over on Ana. A quick reply by Zai. Rolling Boulder forward from G-Rex, can't get close enough to Universe. The Centaur Conqueror coming in again, so Zai comboing up with the Darkseer. But first blood, Sumail onto Ana, and then Zai onto No-Tal.
That's pretty nasty, the Centaur. Who needs Helmut Dominator when you have a Chen on your team? And that mid lane too. I mean, I think generally Sumail's favored in most mid one-on-one matchups, but combine that with the Chen creep, it's just very little contest in the mid lane, it seems.
Life might get easier for No-Tal now that he'll have 2 Earthbinds in the lane. So a lot more control over this this aggressive push that could come out from the melees.
Ana pretty close to dying again. He has to salve up immediately. Sumail, will he get the rocket? Yep, that's going to cancel the salve unless
quick
he
blink.
blinks.
And a dodge.
And a dodge indeed. Now Sumail's going to have to wait for that courier. I guess he could make an excursion to the shrine, but he'd miss out on a couple of CS in the meantime.
Courier just hit 3 minutes anyway, so he can bottle up. He may even just shrine and then keep all 3 charges of the bottle too.
Jerax trying to perhaps interrupt Sumail.
He walks over, but Troll Trap into the stun. Sumail, he's still got rockets and laser, but he decides just to wait until Zai's done enough damage that he can kill secure with the laser itself. So Sumail getting his first, like I say, it's 1 kill and 1 assist on the board.
Zai's doing a lot of work on the Chen. Secured Sumail the mid lane, secured the bottom lane with a Meepo kill, and prevented Earthspear from ganking him. And it seems like top lane is also not going well for S4, so EG coming out far ahead of this lane.
Here comes Zai again.
No-Tail on the bottom lane.
It's the Troll Trap. Here comes your Centaur Stomp. Meepo locked in. Universal run forward. You actually get the Iron Shell up in time, and No-Tail will fall. You want the Meepo to be shut down. He's died multiple times, even though he has managed to pick up 16 CS.
Yeah, the wild factor was the Chen, and Zai has been delivering. I think Chen is a very, very difficult hero to play. It requires just multiple ways to adapt in every single game. You can't play him the same way every game with the same creeps. And he's been doing a lot with the creeps that he's been given.
Jirax took the bounty rune away from Crit, then got seen by the Observer of EG, rolls back up, and then Crit just can't stay on top of him. Such an amazing hero, and really they just searched a Hellbear in with an Iron Shell as well. Another kill on the bottom lane. Now the 3rd death of the Meepo. They need some kind of answer, and that's what looks to the top lane. Jirax rolling Boulder up, actually misses everything, but Artesian Crit, they'll both be double kicked. But the damage and control just hasn't been enough. Artesian Crit is still too strong for him.
And they're technically losing this lane too, because they're trying to use 3 heroes to zone after 2, but Artesi's getting a ton of farm, way more than the Radiant or Dire side heroes, and they also aren't able to really pull and stack that much, and now they're under a lot of pressure. They need to get this Meepo back in the game. They need to start stacking, they need to start getting kills with the Queen, but nothing's really happening for them. And on top of this, they're going to have like the BOTs fairly soon in the Tinker, I would say, at this rate. You can BOT on the Chen creeps, the Helmut Dominator creeps, and your problems are going to compound.
I love how Sumail as well, like do you even need the Soul Ring when he's able to find regeneration runes or when he controls runes this heavily? Where you
I don't
can
think
just rush
so.
the BTs?
Another benefit of having the Chen is you can just get sent back and then just TP back to the mid lane without having to use a rearm for that. So I think you can just get BOTs very early on and just be completely okay with that. You can also, you know, ferry over some bottles to the Darkseer and the Vengeful Spirit to make the side lanes a little bit stronger without having to use the Chen heal. So, like, the laning phase is getting pretty ugly, I would say. Meepo working on a bottle, but normally Meepo has like treads and then some, I would say, at this point in time. Maybe start working towards that first Dragon Lance, but he is nowhere in sight, doesn't even have an Iron Talon. But the benefit of him being in the offlane is that he can take this side camp very early on. Unfortunately, it's not stacked for him.
And it blinks into Sumail. Sumail's very happy just to laser him in return. Zai invading in deep thanks to the Observer Ward. He sees a lot of maneuvering, including Jirax, so he waits for him to come up the hillside. Penitent Man, he will not pass. Jirax getting stunned up, rolling Boulder around. He had a small little opening. Meanwhile, No Tail's been brought down by Universe, and Jirax the crush from crit. It reaches over the hill thanks to the Observer Ward. You can see on the other side of the tree line.
But Zai is just playing amazingly well in this shot. He's like,
He needs this.
Oh my.
He needs this. Universe is TPing out. Sonic Wave won't be enough damage. Universe just leaves. Anna with a haster in rotation, he won't at least waste that much time, but he still needed that kill.
I think he could have Shadow Struck and actually he didn't have enough mana for Shadow Strike and Sonic Wave, so yeah, no kill attempt there. That was pretty close though. Chen already pushing with the help of the VS Aura. This is not good is an understatement.
Yeah, this is close to disastrous levels for OG. Losing the tower early on. We were looking at critical things to come in from OG. One of them was the Blink Dagger over on S4. I think the other thing I was looking for was Meepo to have levels, but you're 7 minutes in and you have a level 7 Meepo. It's almost unheard of. Zai, now he's looking for a kill on S4. The first stun flies out. It's a wonderful kick from Jirax to create space. So EG can't get close enough for another stun.
Yeah, in retrospect, it might have been better for OG to dump the dual lane on bottom. I didn't think they'd leave Meepo solo down there, but Meepo plus Dazzle perhaps could have fended off the Darkseer Chen combination, but I don't think they were expecting the Chen to interfere so much in that lane.
But he really did, and Universe loves to play aggressive, so does RTZ. Surged in, gets the stun in to start with. No swap up just yet, one more attack would do it. Universe got Surge off cooldown 1 second time, but RTZ is not going to go that deep for it.
And he was very close to level 6. So looks like double Helmet Dominators are probably coming out. I see one headdress on the Vengeful Spirit, one on the Chen, and one on the Darkseer. Darkseer most likely building mech though. And
Tinker has BTs.
Yep, Tinker has BOTs. So that's, I think Tinker is especially good with the Helmet Dominator. The Helmet Dominator, as we saw, enabled the Clinks yesterday. I also think it can enable the Tinker this game too, if you have that level of coordination to move around the map. So Meepo, generally you're pretty safe. You just move around wherever, but I think it's going to be very difficult to match the mobility of the constant BOTs on the Tinker.
But they got to try, or else OG's going into that lower bracket into a best of one situation. At EG, they're not letting up. The pressure is applied down the bottom lane, and OG, they will give it a shot. Looks like EG, they've worked it out.
They sense something's funny.
Yep. No one's in mid. Anna is just hovering back down to show himself. With only one Meepo showing on top that also poses a couple of question marks. But OG, they've come in very, very deep, and they may have found the big target. S4 smoke will break. Sumail straight to the tree line.
Man, that troll too. Zai.
Oh, Jirax. Does he get out? He's trapped up, but rolling Boulder managed to reach the other side of the river.
That positioning with the troll summoner too. Like all these small things just adding up to a goose egg for OG.
Jirax back to the bottom lane. Swap is now available for RTZ. So ability to get himself out of trouble or potentially put someone deep in trouble.
Well, it's time to use a Primal Split. That is their being T-Pine ultimate, I guess, aside from Sonic Wave. If you can get in there without dying.
And with RTZ's posturing, then I was wondering if S4 was going to trigger it just as a defensive thing.
Well, they do have the Grave, so maybe if they overcommit on S4, they can fight with the Primal Split with all the Radiant heroes on top of them, but EG doesn't really seem to be letting that happen. And Sumail's pressuring Noto on the side lanes. He did not go for that bottle that he had in his quick buy, so a little hard press versus
They got the stun over on Brewmaster. You'll have to go for that Shallow Grave. Primal Split is now out. RTZ is on the run. Jirax wants to be winning, but the Surge, he's too far away. The rockets have been thrown, so RTZ will make it to the tree line. Trigger off his one charge to start the TP. They'll see him, and just in time, send him up and towards the air, drop him down quickly. And Arteezy will be the first kill that OG is able to claim, and it took him 10, almost a half minutes to achieve it.
Really nice play from S4 there. He read where he was going to go exactly. That's not that common of a spot, but he figured that he wasn't going over to the right side and made that clever assumption onto the middle part of the trees. It's a very important kill for them. Slowing down the Vengeful Spirit, slows down their pushes.
At the same time, Chen did some significant damage to that tier 1 tower with the catapult wave, and Crit's getting a lot of space to fire up his Blink Dagger on top. So the initiation item, the Slaughter, Mr. Third lowest net worth, is still going to have that big jump item which destroys up OG. And those Dominators are coming online. So with Mech, with Hand of God, interesting to see what Zai, like, is it worth actually getting more resistance? Like, he's currently walking around with, okay, no, that's what it is. It's going to go into the Dominator, the heavy armor, the heavy army.
Dominator's great on Chen. I think the HPR is incredibly good. Dude,
Oh,
no tell, use double
poofs. The crush will come in. Sabel will arrive. Arteezy's here as well. So No-Tell will die. He had teammates nearby, but nowhere near close enough to react. And what do they do now? You wait 25 seconds for him to come up. The tier 2 tower objective will be taken. So Fly stays in close, rolling boulder forward. It's a nice kick turn on the Magnetize with a Sonic Wave from Ana. The damage is big. Crit will fall. Durex is ticking down as well. He'll be saved by that shallow grave. So 2 loss for EG. Universe bailing out. It'll end up being a 2-for-2 trade-off. Zai's damage with his army still there. And flicks the last fatal blow.
Jirex is saving these team fights for them. He sacrificed his life right there just to get a lot of damage on. And that actually slowed down Slaughter's Blink. Slaughter had around 2,000 gold before he ended up dying. So pretty impactful kill. Vengeful Spirit also 0 and 2 right now. However, Tinker yet to die this game and very close to picking up
Swap,
Blink Dagger.
Stun. Who needs a Blink Dagger when you have Arteezy? Queen of Pain. She'll go down. I kind of wanted to say, like, space is going to be created because OG keeps their tier 2 tower alive, so Meepo can not feel as threatened under his inside of his own jungle. But when things like that happen, life is harder.
Yeah, Sumino almost tried to almost got caught out by No-Tail there, but yeah, and that missed. I do like the swap stun combination too. Ana didn't have Observer Wards up the hill, so wasn't really expecting that coming.
Oh, so we're going to go again on mid. It's just No-Tail. And Snare controlling Arteezy. His swap's almost off cooldown.
Jerax scouting out Zai on the top lane, and Zai has no idea what's happening here.
Yeah, he really doesn't, but oh, he still dodges, goes left, dodges the rolling boulder. He's still got a troll trap, they'll keep S4 away. So Zai, I don't know if unintentional awesomeness or just pure skill, but he dodges the gang from OG.
Maybe a little bit of both.
He'll take column A, column B, and add column C. Goodbye tier 1 tower mid. That's the last tier 1 tower for OG.
Meepo's getting there. He already has his level 1 talent. 15 damage really helps a lot when you're trying to farm up neutrals constantly.
Tier 1 Lances. There's your Blink Crush. Right on top of the Queen of Pain. Fly was able to get the Shallow Grave off, but Ana blinks up and away, but No-Tail poofing out, able to do so. Nice weave from Fly with a negative armor. Maybe EG will think twice about going in. Oh, maybe not. Crit jumps in so far. With that missed up, he already finds one. Jirax, they body block him up so he can't really rolling bolt around this one. And that's another 2 heroes down for OG, now making it a very big margin for EG. 12-3 on the board. And maybe even more. Crit actually gets the stun. No-Tail caught outside the base, stunned up. 3 heroes down now. And just the last minute, and this advantage, it is skyrocketing for EG.
How demoralizing is this for the Queen of Pain and the Meepo? Meepo has been put in the grave 6 times. The Queen of Pain has just felt useless. She almost died from full HP. Regen up and just almost died again.
Arteezy couldn't get the stun off, was actually dodged by the Primal Split, but Earthspirit never got into the fight. The Sonic Wave will hit nicely, but both Mech and Hand of God, so much life coming back. Chen will be the casualty, and then the stun. Ana, nowhere to run. The Master Machines are down. There's too much damage. Even Fly starts his TP. That Shallow Grave will last just long enough for him to get back, but S4 won't be so lucky. Tinker's coming back in again on the BT. Zai with a double kill, 16-4. This is now one of the earliest pushes into the base we've had in Dota Pit so far. 15 minutes and EG are taking a tier 3 tower.
The lanes went catastrophically for OG, and this is the result. T3 and Rags being breached at just 15.5 minutes, and N0tail just has not had the space to farm at all, under constant pressure from the Ion Shells in the lane, and all the T1s being taken down by Chen, and it has been a nightmare for him.
Chen gets back. But they've already done the job. Off the back, the crush, 3-man is practically a ravage. OG losing so much. The Dazzle will fall. N0tail will go down the back lines. Durax wants to roll back in again, make the most of this magnetize. It kind of feels over, and they're just looking for any kind of bone that EG will throw them, but it doesn't really exist.
The mass aura strat too. In between the Greaves and then the Helmut Dominator and then the Chen creeps and the Chen heal, they just straight heal through that magnetize. It's as if they had, had a healing order, even better. That was crazy.
What do you even do here, OG?
Try and get big on the Meepo. Try and do a big combo with the Earth Spirit, but the vacuum wall or vacuum into the crush it's rough. It's really rough.
You've got that, you got the burn of the Iron Shell, you got Tinker getting bigger as well. Now completed up his Ether Lens, up at level 14. The highest on the map. Universe pretty close behind him. Already with a fully completed Greaves, and all these back walls that have been happening from Universe is without Blink Dagger. He's picking it up next.
That's his hero, man. He is so good with the initiation every single time.
And they get a 4-star as well for crit, so his range of attack is even bigger. So he gets to jump in. All he really wants to do is just mist up Ana, or haze up Ana.
And for Darkseer, he actually picked up the cast range talent. I think that's
Oh, Jirax, that's just cruel. He got purged up by the creep, so massively slowed down. N0tail will just poof himself away, but the Earth Spirit's lost. And so is the Tier 2 tower on top.
Well, they can just keep this train rolling. Meepo trying to get something out of this, get the T2 on bottom, but Tinker's already there to try and march out the wave, and N0tail under heavy fire, crit.
Able to get the stun. If he gets an extra bash, Meepo trying to poof out, not in time. 50 seconds on the sideline for N0tail.
He's at that point where he's not even strong enough to split push and just poof out at will. The Tinker and the Sora are too strong at the moment. Everyone's too strong on EG, honestly.
Tinker's going to start to murder people even harder. Finished up the Dagon, so on top of the burst damage he already had, he's going to amplify that more. Such a huge game right now for EG. They played so well. They're going to push their advantage a little bit harder.
It's pretty sad for Quap when you have to take the 5 strength over the 20 damage.
Are they going to come to fight? OG, they need to. They really don't have a choice. Meepo can TP out to the shrine, but Roshan, he's going to be dead before OG arrive. That's exactly what's happened. So Arteezy becomes immortal. The Weave will connect from the Dazzle. And EG will just wait it out and go for, well, potentially a death push. They could just rotate and be safe. Go for the Tier 2 tower on bot lane. Make no mistakes.
Either one, I'm sure, is a fine position, as long as they don't fight uphill into that shrine. It's probably the only one that's a losing cause for them.
It's like Sumail changed his mind on his item build. He's going to go into the Aghanim Scepter now. He got the level 1 Dagon and was looking at the rest of the levels as well.
What surge is this?
But now maybe a little bit more of a plan that goes beyond 20 minutes.
Having the laser refract on all the Meepos just limits his output greatly. And you can't get BKB to counter it. Can't get MKB to counter it. You have to get Bloodthorn or just get a Hex to kill the Tinker, but he is in no such position to do so.
Yeah, that's way too much money for the Meepo. Meepo still needs to build up his stats. He's probably, he needs to get the Blink Dagger off the Double Dragon Lance.
And then Scepter, and then another item.
Yep, that's when you can think about something like an Orchid, Bloodthorn, something along those lines.
Queen of Pain's also in poverty mode.
What's she walking around with? Veil and looking at Eul's, but you're probably considering buyback as your more important thing at the moment. Both Meepo, Dazzle, and the Queen of Pain all have buyback available.
Well, here we go. Yes, potentially coming in from the sides, trying to scout out for the Tinker. That could be a great way for them to start the fight. If Jerax can get the stun off,
He's really close, but Samel just blinks a little bit further back. The stun will go on Arteezy, not the one they want. He's got the Aegis Steamall. It's the reason why Arteezy's on the front lines, and S4 almost dying to just the march of the machines and the spam from range.
Yep, there's an Alpha Wolf sitting right there too. Buff up Arteezy's damage and a place for the Tinker to TP too.
Oh, Samel, he jumped in a little bit closer. No doubt thought that was his opportunity, but then the back 3-man wall and 3-man crush. EG hit the combination. They don't get the kills off it, however. There's a little bit of interruption on the back lines by Jirax. Again, trying to create space for his team, and with the rest of this Bruling ultimate, they have to try and kill off something, even if it's just burning the Aegis, the Immortal. It stops Arteezy from standing in the front lines, but they don't have the damage, they don't have the control. Brewmaster will go back to his normal self. Charlotte Graves used on Anima crit right there for the crush. Arteezy on the money. There's your nuke. Queen of Pain will buy back, and OG will throw everything, mainly their bodies, at this EG lineup. And Universe, another quick back. He's just trying to keep him in place. The wall's in pretty deep, so they just make more copies, more vision. The top racks are totally gone. Another crush out. Jirax is gone. OG huddling on their tier 4 towers. The damage from Samhail is way too big. Then there it is. GG is called. Evil Geniuses will do it in 21.5. Taking out OG 2-0 in the winners bracket final.
And the Meepo counters keep expanding. First Winter Wyvern, Sven a couple of patches to go. We have the Ember Mag, now there's a Tinker, and Meepo picking teams have to perhaps, you know, save that pick for last just because of how well it has been handled by a lot of these teams. It's kind of what you expect from OG and a lot of other stronger teams who have an excellent Meepo player. So you know that they're going to pull it out now and then.
So you're pushing that, actually saying, like, because the Tinker was going to go into the mid, they had to push the Meepo to the off lane?
No, it's because of the Venge tri-lane. The Venge position 1 is really strong in the early games. The Meepo needs, 10, 15 minutes of just Meepo time. But
he got no Meepo time.
The Darkseer Chen, I would say Zai is actually MVP. He destroyed mid and bottom lane and propelled Tinker to that point where he could just obliterate anyone.
Well, that first gank that happened on the bottom was the Centaur coming in with the Iron Shell.
That too.
It's the enabler. It's the enablers that work with Universe. Having that Darkseer, Universe is known as one of the most aggressive Darkseers you can have out there, and one of the most successful Darkseers you can have out there, and then you give him a Chen army to put Iron Shells on top of, plus the Slaughter combination.
It's really scary when EG adds this to the arsenal. They used to be known as a team that couldn't play Chen, and now that they have Zai fulfilling that role, that's another one of their weaknesses just gone. And they haven't been able to play Meepo yet, but rumor has it that some of them have been playing it in pubs a lot too, so they're just doing whatever it takes and using all the strategies that they can to pull out this victory, and they will advance to the grand finals.
That they will, so EG guaranteed top 2. OG will have to go up against Faceless in the best of 1 lower bracket final. That'll be coming up next, so don't go anywhere.
Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.